When you open up your web browser, what is your home page set as? I know a lot of you are likely to answer Google.com. Some of you may answer Facebook or MySpace or your favorite social network. Yahoo.com is also acceptable. Live.Perillo.com. Stop kissing my ass. It's not going to get you anywhere. Although I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. My ego needed a slight boost. So, people have asked me, what do I use as a start page? Actually, I'm making that up. Nobody ever asked me what I use for my launching page when my web browser opens, which, by the way, happens to be blank. But if I have the home page set to load when I start up the web browser, it is alltop.com. More to the point, mac.alltop.com. This was a website, or a series of websites within a website that launched a few months ago by our, well, partially, I think largely because our friend Guy Kawasaki had funded its development. And the idea behind Alltop is to really aggregate top resources or top collections of information into a concise format and then targeted for a specific type of audience. So my home page happens to be set to mac.alltop.com. Guess what's on there? Well, just about every big Mac site that you could think of. Tidbits, MacNN, MacRumors, Macworld, TUAW, Version Tracker. Yeah, don't ask me why. Version Tracker's sucked for years. MacTech, Touch Arcade, Infinite Loop, Roughly Drafted, blah, 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 blah. The list kind of goes on and on and on. So it's a great way to experience a zeitgeist of at least the latest 5 headlines from each one of these websites. And if you hover over one of the headlines, then you get a little preview window that pops up. And then when Guy kind of announced this a while ago, I think, on his blog and then on Twitter and what have you, some people just didn't like it. They were like, I don't get it. But I looked at the Mac page, I'm like, wow, that's cool. I mean, cool enough that I set it to my start page. I've never had an issue with it. I liked it. In fact, if I had the resources to throw behind it, I would probably take a good run at it. They've done a really good job with it so far, and they're constantly launching new types of all-tops. And just if you go to alltop.com, you'll see the list right up front. They got an anime page, a page on gardening, genealogy, getting things done, green, humor, nursing, news, venture capital, voice over IP, World of Warcraft, women, I know what you're thinking, but don't think that, yoga, pagan, journalism, content management, comics, climbing, China, Chile. The list kind of goes on and on and on and on. So they basically have all the top sites that would be considered for each of these particular topics covered for you, and they're constantly updating it. The speed is pretty amazing. Things load quickly. The site isn't really weighed down with a lot of graphics. They kind of load the page and then get out of your way. Yeah, there are some ads, but they're done quite tastefully, I think, not too overwhelming, and I think that's the hallmark of a good homepage or a good start page. I don't mind it at all. As I said, the day that it launched, it was the day that I finally set a home page or a start page or a launch page, whatever you want to call it, for my web browser. And again, it's mac.alltop.com. And yes, in case you're wondering, there's also windows.alltop.com. Oh, look, Todd Bishop. I know Todd. Hey, Ed Bott. I know Ed. Ed and I sometimes butt heads. Or we bot heads. Anyway. There's Mary Jo Foley, bink.nu. That's Steven over there. MSDN blogs, TechNet blog. Wow, that's kind of neat. Boy, they got everything. That's what I like about Alltop, is they pretty much have everything. So the reason why I've been throwing something around is because Guy sent me Alltop stickers. He wanted me to plaster it on the back of my laptop, but as you see, my laptop is for the most part pristine. I don't like throwing things on it. Sorry, Guy, but I do like Alltop, and I want to see more, and I'm not biased because you put me on I think the Twitterati page or the top friend feed Alltop page. I really like the site. I really genuinely do. I can't wait to see what else is going to happen with it. I wouldn't say that the idea behind it is all that original, but I don't think that's the point. You know, I think that you've done a pretty good job, or at least your team has done a pretty good job at developing something for a relatively low amount of money, as you've bragged about. So that's my endorsement. That's my recommendation. And I'm not just saying that because Guy came and spoke at Gnome Decks last year. Everybody loved him. Although I wish he gave the audience a choice last year at Gnome Decks. And Guy Kawasaki, for any perspective, was pretty much this industry's first evangelist, Apple's evangelist. You know, went on to do, well, you know, other things. I can't say bigger and better necessarily. I mean, it's all relative. But he gave the audience a choice last year at Gnome Decks, the conference that Ponzi and I produce. And he said, okay, I can either answer your questions or do a presentation that I've done before. Well, the people wanted him to do the presentation. I was like, what? Dude, I would totally ask him to answer questions because then you get original dialogue. So I think that the Gnome Decks audience really missed the mark by not having Guy answer their questions in real time there at Gnome Decks. Better luck next time, I guess. But, again, yeah, I've got your stickers, Guy, and I appreciate it. But if I can figure out a way to put stickers on a laptop and see that, I'd be more inclined to put the sticker on the laptop if it was more like a decal. I'd be into decals because then I could deal with it for a little while and then take it off. But until then, I don't know. Well, you got a video out of it. I wouldn't complain too loudly. Thanks again, Guy. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. Feel free to pass along any web resource related to anything that might be interesting to you or you think might be interesting for the rest of the community here. We've got a chat room that's full of geeks. They're just, you know, full of energy at all times of the day and night because we're open all the time. It's the internet. There are no hours. You never really know what's going to happen because I got this live video feed and I'm pointing it at my desk and I'm doing other things. You know, I'm doing so many things on a daily basis. Like, if you come by, you may be able to hear me do this. Pretty exciting, isn't it? Not. But if you'd like to join us, you're more than welcome to. We're streaming this video and the chat room 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.